Okay, so recently I was repairing my door lock actuators, which I did for only $5 when Honda was trying to charge me $500 each. However, I did get into a little bit of a jam when I was doing it. When I put the whole latch and lock mechanism back together, I didn't put it back together right, and I ended up jamming the entire mechanism, and I closed my door and I couldn't open my door no matter what I tried. My door was stuck shut. I took it to multiple shops, nobody could get it open, there was no hope, so I had to fix my own problem by drilling the lock. So if you're in a similar situation where you've tried to work on it and it's jammed shut, or you've tried everything you possibly can and still can't get that door open, then this is probably the way to go. It's a pretty specialized video, but it took me a lot of time to figure out, and I figure if this helps even one other person avoid going through what I went through, it's totally worth it. For educational purposes, I start by talking about some of the methods that I had tried before I finally ultimately got to a method that worked. I had to actually take apart a door lock actuator that was fully functioning so that I could try and reverse engineer and find a way to open it. And ultimately that's what I was able to do. Okay, so here's what we're dealing with in my Honda Fit. I had taken off the door panel to fix the actuator myself. When I put the actuator assembly back in, I must have put something in wrong, and now the door is absolutely unequivocally jammed shut, okay? Multiple locksmiths and body shops cannot open this door. So there were a couple options I was thinking of. You can see the striker plate in here on the latch, but we can't open that. I was thinking about cutting the striker plate through there, but I think what I'm going to try doing is I took off this back panel here, which just requires a lot of pulling. I'm going to take out the seatbelt assembly here. Now that won't get me to the back side of the plate because there's actually a box here. The plate is back here, but I'm going to try taking this off, cutting a hole here, and if that gets me access to the back side of the plate, I can just unscrew the bolts from the striker and hopefully open the door that way. I'm hoping worst case scenario I can cut the bolts flush and then the whole thing should just slide open, and I should be able to take that all apart and get it fixed again. So I did eventually drill this hole back here. It was tedious to do. I don't know if I was using the right tools. And the bolts are way too low. I wasn't even able to get to the bottom bolt even when I pulled that piece of metal out of the way. And even then, that plate is way too thick. I couldn't cut through it. I couldn't do anything. So this was not the approach to take. See how I did it with drilling the lock. I think that was the better way to go. Okay, so the problem I'm having is this latch right here. This is what actually unlocks the door, even though it's not part of the latch assembly. What that does is when this is depressed, which is the handle, it pushes this down, which in turn pushes this little plastic piece down. And that is what unlocks the door right there, is this pushing on that. So what I'm going to try and do on the door I can't open this time is drill right at this top corner. If I can get a drill bit through there, then I might be able to stick something down and push that, which will hopefully still be aligned with this right here. Push there. So the problem is that this little hook right here has to line up with that hole when you put it back in. And you see there's a lot of play right here. So if it's down here when you put this on, it's not going to line up, and you're not getting that mechanism, which is probably a guarantee that's the issue I'm having. Okay, so the door was jammed shut. I originally tried drilling the lock at the top here. I don't know if you can see those holes right there. I couldn't feed the wire through to get where I needed to. So I ended up cutting the lower channel. I'll have to figure out how to repair that later. And then what I did, let's see if we can see this better, is I drilled right into the panel right here. So there's a bolt right there. Sorry, it's dark. So the bolt that goes in is right there. So I took out the bolt and drilled an 1/8 inch hole right above it. And then you feed the wire in approximately at this angle that I'm at. It goes almost straight back, but down just a little bit, and there's a little channel there. If you go to the left, it'll feed out the back, but if you go more inside there, you get it there and you push it down, make sure the door's unlocked, and you can pop it open. So in order to get the window off so I could drill the hole in the actuator and latch, I had to cut through this rear channel here. I think I'm going to put it back together with moldable plastic. I don't know if that's the best option, but I may just end up buying a replacement one. I think they're fairly cheap. Okay, so when we're looking down the car window, this is how we're looking at the device. Now you can see where I drilled holes. I drilled holes here. I was not able to pass the hanger there, so the one that did the trick was right there. So you see there's usually a screw right here. I've taken it out. I drilled right above the screw, and again, fed it straight in that way and slightly down. And I'll show you when we take apart. There's a latch there that you just push down, and as long as the door's unlocked, that should release the latch, if it's the internal mechanism that's causing the jamming. I'm going to fix that with some moldable plastic, I think, and I think it'll turn out okay. Okay, so it's time to slide the latch back in. Remember that little piece right here goes through that slot back there. And remember, the most important part here is that that hole has this pin go into it. This is crucial, crucial, crucial. Do not miss this. I did this. I put it on like this, so the pin was below that notch right there, so that when the door was actuating, it wasn't actually doing anything. It wasn't opening the latch. So my door was essentially trapped shut, and that's why I had to drill out this hole right here that I filled with moldable plastic I got off of Amazon. And I had to stick a hanger down through there to help trigger this mechanism right there. So the goal was I stuck the hanger down through and hit that mechanism right there, because that ultimately is what actually opens the door. It's not this latch right here. See, this latch moves that hole, which moves this latch, which further triggers this latch. So this is ultimately what releases the latch for the door. So if you have it all put together wrong, you're SOL, and you're gonna have to start drilling holes like I did. Yeah. Woo, it works.